Steeler Nation, what's going on? It's your man Kev Easy here, man. Training day is here. It is here. Media going crazy. Players came in, you know, the theatrics and all that, man. But on this video right here, we are going to watch Mike Tomlin's press conference. So without further ado, you already know, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it.
Good afternoon. Really excited about getting this team development process started with this group. We checked them in today and had a mandatory NFL seminar, and then we've done the conditioning tests. And this evening we get into our foundational things, administrative meetings, getting to know one another, and starting this process of individual and collective development. Excited to see these guys. I like the feel in the air. Everyone showed up adequately conditioned and then some, and it appears that we have a very good group from a health standpoint. There were some people that were somewhat limited in the spring for a variety of reasons. We don't see anyone at this juncture that will be limited as we embark on this thing tomorrow, which is a good thing. And so I'll pause and open it up for questions.
Mike, can you elaborate a little on you like the feel in the air? What are you feeling?
Just there's excitement. Guys are excited to be here, to be back, to be around each other, to begin this process. And you feel it.
I bet you.
Like camaraderie with the team, talking to the players today. The advertisement said he brings his TV. The guys have competitions, whatnot. Uno, Pictionary, it could be anything. Does Coach Tomlin ever interact and do any of those things?
Very much so. I think that's one of the tangible benefits of a destination training camp, and we just obviously we let it happen organically, but we also tee it up. There's awesome development, collective development in an environment like this. Where we get an opportunity to be away from our lives and be singularly focused on this collective and spend formal time and informal time together.
Right now.
And I just think that that's a component of team building that we've all been on enough teams we know and respect and feel and really want to pour into. And so, yes, there'll be competition, video games, board games, dominoes, etc. I think that that's one of the things, if you love football and you love football environments, that's one of the things that you like about destination camps.
What would you like to see this offense evolve under year two with Kenny?
That's a complex question, to be quite honest with you, man. We got to maintain possession of the ball. We got to maintain, a scoring pace. We got to be well balanced. We got to utilize our eligibles and their talents. We got to protect our quarterback. There's a lot of layers to that discussion, but that's why we're here. As far as Kenny goes specifically, man, this is the second lap around the track for him, like it is all our second-year players. So I think it's reasonable for them to proceed with that knowing, and that knowing to be displayed in their production and the consistency of their play. And so he's no different than any other second-year player in that regard. It's just that he's our quarterback.
For the development of the offense with Kenny coming in as the cemented starter, you don't have the quarterback competition that you had a year ago.
I'm sorry, what was the beginning of that?
What does it do just for the development of Kenny and the offense to have him already cemented as the starter? You don't have the same quarterback competition you did a year ago. I think
that kind of remains to be seen. I think just on the surface level, the allocation of reps and the pointed work relative to those things are clearer and thus potentially more productive, but it remains to be seen.
Mike, Kenny was asked a couple of those questions too, and he spoke to the importance of taking and cashing in on calculated shots. The calculated shots, what goes into that calculus for you guys, and how much of it is actually about touch and feel as well, time and place in the game?
Yeah, you guys are digging in deep on day one, man. Hey, we want to be explosive. We want to get yards in chunks. And I guess that's what he's speaking to. But we also want to possess the ball and control the floor of the game. And so we got to do all things if we want to be a dominant group, and that's a component of it. We weren't explosive enough a year ago in terms of chunk plays, and so there's a focus there.
Mike, you said during the offseason you expect Kenny to, quote, kill it. What's your definition of kill it?
We'll see. He needs to be what we need him to be. I know that he's preparing with that mindset, and I like his approach and his demeanor in that regard, but I think whether you're talking about guys like quarterbacks or guys like me as a head coach, we need to be what our team needs us to be.
Nobody on top to start? Is that what you said earlier about?
Correct.
Everybody's healthy, they say?
You guys' OTAs. He said it was the most physical OTA sessions that he saw. What's your anticipation for how physical, once the pads get on?
I don't know what you're talking about in terms of physical OTAs. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what Baldy's talking about.
They might have been hitting low key.
The physical component of team development here is critical because that's a component of our game. We spend a lot of time teaching and learning, particularly in the spring and even in these settings. But there's a component of this game that you can't get away from, and that's the physicality component. And really, environments such as these are our first opportunities to display skills or an appetite in that area. So I have no idea what you're talking about regarding spring.
Explain maybe Kenny ingratiating himself with his teammates so quickly, because everyone speaks highly of him when they ask him about Kenny in such a short amount of time.
You know, Kenny is hardworking and no nonsense and a legitimate, humble dude, and I think that's attractive from a teammate perspective. I think he's thoughtful and considerate of others. I think that's attractive.
With some new faces on defense, did you get enough done in OTAs to kind of shorten that learning curve of all these guys getting together as they start camp?
I'll be very blunt. We're not concerned about the new faces on defense, man. They're veteran guys. They're smart guys.
Shout out to all the guys that signed, man.
It's going to be a non-issue for us by the time we step into the stadium.
Peterson.
When he was limited in the spring in the position he plays, what are you looking for out of him? Fulcom. Mm-hmm. What are you looking for out of him as he steps on the field?
To carve out a role for himself in this thing. He's a starter-capable guy. He's got a reputable resume and body of work in Washington, and so we're excited about adding him to the fold and him doing similar things here.
Mike, in terms of the red zone, just in what ways do you feel like you may be more positioned for success this season there?
I have no idea. We're here to kind of discover these things, guys. Seriously. I think sometimes when you have too hardcore of a plan in an environment like this, you miss something.
Y'all know it's day one.
And so we're here to grow and develop individually and collectively. And when you're in my position, you better be open to being pleasantly surprised or disappointed, to be quite honest with you. And so some of the things that you guys ask about specifically in terms of an agenda or things I'm looking for is a tad bit premature, because we're here to develop our personality, our strengths, our weaknesses, to ascertain what those things are, to divide the labor up. And so we're at ground zero in that regard.
Mike, a year ago when we were in here, you talked about boiling mouthpieces and all the excitement that you feel coming into this camp this time of year. Do you still feel that same level of excitement? Just where is it in relation to last year when you're talking about all those things?
It probably intensifies, to be quite honest with you, but that's me and my personal relationship with this game and the group of men that I get an opportunity to lead. Man, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the people I get an opportunity to do it with, and so I'm always generally excited. I'm excited about the challenges that environments like this presents and the way it's going to challenge us and the way we get an opportunity to grow as professionals, as men, myself included.
Like everybody here is supposed to be here?
Yes.
Najee took on more of a leadership role in year two last season. What does he need to show or prove to you guys between the lines in year three?
Just to continue to progress in the manner in which he has, not only inside the white lines, but off of it. He's a guy that's shown a natural appetite for leadership and perspective, and it's reasonable to expect that to continue as well. Teams are continually evolving, man. Guys are ascending, guys are descending, and so forth. And you got a talented young guy like him that shows an appetite for leadership, man. You just want to cultivate all components of that discussion, not only in his game, but the intangible things that he provides us.
How does Jalen make Najee better as a running back?
I don't know that he does.
It's a bad question.
Jalen better focus on Jalen.
You could have got a better answer. That was a bad question.
Exists from year to year. I mean, you have so much, especially in offense, you have so much continuity to get success at the end of the year. Can there be carryovers at ground zero, day zero?
I think it's prudent to proceed and to assume that it does not. If it does in a positive way, great. But I don't think any of us are sitting here relying on that discussion.
And we're going to get the first reps with the ones at left tackle.
I hadn't even thought about it, but I assume so, yes.
Historically, this is the time when this organization has extended their contract with the head coach. That would be for you. Do you expect that? Would that mean something?
I hadn't even thought about it. I'm just at the stage of my career, man. I don't care about contracts, to be honest with you, man. I acknowledge I've seen more days than I'm going to see. That's just the nature of this thing. I'm appreciative of the opportunity. I'm singularly focused. I'm thankful that I'm at a stage in life and in my career where that's a non-issue for me.
Coach, as a head coach, are there any perspectives that you usually give to the rookies when they come into almost what you could consider a college environment, preparing for camp?
This is their first lap around the track, so don't pretend like it's not. Be open to growing and learning. Be a sponge, ask good questions, learn from others, what others say and do, positively, negatively. Just don't try to pretend to be at a place that they're not.
Back to the run game. Najee was very eloquent today talking about the concerns that the group has, generally speaking, that role has been somewhat devalued, yet your team, you put an emphasis on, a lot of teams do. They close out games, they do a lot of things. Can you identify with the plight that some of those guys feel they're on?
To be honest with you, as I embark on this journey with this group today, my focus is this group and the members of this group. So global issues such as the ones you mentioned are less important to me. I don't know that I have an opinion that's worth expressing.
Anyone else? Mike, acknowledging what you just said there about, having more days behind you than ahead of you, how does that even heighten the importance of what you're doing here today for the rest of the
It can. I don't know that it does. I'm on 10 always.
Yeah. 10 toes down.
Thank you, guys.
Ready to go. Look, man, there you have it. Coach Tomlin's first press conference of the training camp, of this year's training camp. Didn't get too much. It's not too much to say, but it was great to see that attendance was 100%, no holdouts. All the rookies, I believe, was signed. Recently signed Joey Porter Jr. to his deal, so salute to everybody that got signed. And no injuries. No one's hurt right now. So it's still the beginning. We got a whole month before we see these guys play a game, preseason game, but we won't see these guys play a game. But it's good to know early on that guys is going to get they opportunities, man. The funny part of this whole situation is, one, the type of questions that they were asking Mike Tomlin. It's like, yo, y'all can get answers from him if y'all worded these questions right. Y'all can't do this. Y'all talking to a master right here. He's an MC. Like, he's an MC up there. He's going to control that room, So y'all got to do a little better if y'all want certain answers from him. And the second funny part is Dan Moore getting starting reps. But salute to Dan Moore, man. Of course, he's going to start. He's going to get the starting reps out the gate just because he's been around. But we all know, I know, even Dan Moore knows that time is ticking, buddy. But y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about Mike Tomlin's first press conference. What do you feel like you learned outside of what I told you? Just let me know your feelings going into this season, man. It's your man, Kev Easy. We're going to watch the next one at another time. Stay tuned. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on VSN. You already know how we give it up, man. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button to stay up to date for Stills for 7 podcast content.